And a lot of guys are, and this is like, if you're a virgin out there, or if you're quite new to this is going to happen to you guys every now and then, and a lot of guys might freak this thing out. Yeah, one thing, guys might lose their erection. Sometimes that there's girls out there, I said there's girls out there, but for whatever reason, they find it very, very difficult to come. And
girls or guys, do you say?
Well, no, actually, I think that can happen to guys. I've never had a problem with that, but
he's like, I have the problem on the other side.
There's girls out there who.
Thank you for the sound effects.
Thank you. What was yours like? What would your advice to guys who? Because I know there's a lot of sort of masculinity attached to the ability to make a girl come, because it's such an amazing feeling, like a very validating for a man, right? And if a girl finds it very hard to get to that point, do you think is it a combination of you're probably not doing all the things you've been saying today, or is it a combination of that and maybe there's stuff that the girl doesn't know how to do that kind of stuff? What would you think about that?
That's a good question. So it could be a combination of things. So definitely the man needs to, I say, be present. Again, see, it's so interesting because guys think that getting a girl off is so much hard work. Like, they'll try all these crazy positions and all these techniques. Like, yeah, they go from A to Z. They try everything.
If I said, they're like, fuck, what's wrong with you? Just fucking come.
So they'll try all these different things, but then if they're not really there, why would the woman have an orgasm when no one is actually even in the room with her? Meaning, if the man's in his head and he's thinking about all these techniques, he's not actually in his body. He's not actually even with her. So there's no one there for her body to respond to. So the man's really got to do all these things that we've already mentioned. And like I said, really being connected to his penis. And I know you guys are probably thinking, like, okay, what does that really mean? And I'm saying do some exercises where let's start at stage one. For a lot of guys, when they masturbate, what that situation looks like is that they're either watching a film, looking at a picture, or looking at something in their mind. Meaning it's very visual, very fantasy,
it's
sexually
usually
oriented.
a website on the internet. We're not, a lot of guys not that imaginative. They think, well,
Nowadays, yeah, it's really easy to
usually
get
they're on their
something.
own, never with family or friends. So it's a solitary thing.
Thank you for clarifying that up.
Thanks. Mum, pass the tissues.
So everything is basically in their mind, and then the way that they interact with their penis is this fast, kind of rapid, friction-oriented movement while the arousal is going on in their mind. So when I say for them to really connect to their penis energetically, it would be like scratching all of that out. And I'm not even going to call it masturbating. I'm going to call it like an exercise. And basically, let's say holding their penis, having different little movements on it, maybe massaging it very slowly, whatever it needs to happen, but focusing completely on the sensations. Meaning it's not the sexual thing, they're not trying to get off kind of thing, but just quite literally focusing on the physical sensations and feeling the energy build up and having that be the process. And through that, and also apart from that, when you're in your everyday life, just staying connected to your penis, meaning having awareness in that part of the body. If you're somewhere where you could even just rest your hand.
Don't hold it on the tube. That's not going to be good.
But even, you can even rest your hand on your lap and no one would even notice. And what you'd be doing is internally being with your penis. Nobody's going to see it as a sexual thing.
So you mean like, in the same way you say to somebody, okay guys, now, imagine your penis right now and your attention goes to it, that kind of thing. Like if I say imagine your hand, you sort of, you mean that kind of thing.
That kind of thing. And like I said, also doing the exercise, because for a lot of guys that masturbate in the way that I mentioned, using the porn and the friction stuff, they actually numb their penis out. It desensitizes the penis. So this exercise, let's call it an exercise, would actually bring sensitivity back to their penis and have them start to reconnect to being able to feel in the penis instead of just relying on friction and pulling and that kind of a thing.
Would you recommend everyone listening to this show stop masturbating completely, absolutely 100%?
No way.
Hell no! No, but it sounds like it,
No, the thing is
We've lost half the audience, they're gone.
For me, there are no rules. And even like when I work with guys and I tell them to do the exercise, they'll come back to me and they'll say to me, I can't even get an erection like this, because they're so disconnected from actually feeling their penis. They cannot get themselves to feel sensations for the energy to come up. And I say to them, okay, so if you want to masturbate, fine. So separate out the two ideas. You want to masturbate, but do this exercise also, because you need to do it in order to bring the sensitivity back to your penis.
And you mean, in like you said, if a guy has trouble doing it, you mean he has trouble doing it without a visual, without porn, is that what you mean? Or he can't do it?
I'm saying that if he's touching his penis and totally relying upon the feelings that are going on in his penis in order for him to have an erection, for a lot of men, they're disconnected from that feeling. It's difficult for them to feel in order for the energy to get high or for them to get an erection, for example. Meaning all of the arousal usually happens from their mind or from very physical activity, meaning like really strong movement. It's not from them actually being able to really feel internally different sensations that go on. And that's what I'm saying is it's that connection to the man's penis and him having energy in his penis that's going to get the woman off, is going to give her an orgasm. So the other part to your question is that also for a lot of women, they have their own issues to why, even if the man's an amazing lover, of course he could assist the woman in coming into her body and starting to feel again. But for a woman also, if she's in her head when you guys are engaging and she's concerned about how she looks and whether you like her and all this kind of stuff, she's also not in her body. So her body's not going to be able to respond because no one's really there. She's not even really there to enjoy it. That's one aspect. And another one that I want to mention that's really important for guys to know as they, I say, maybe continue to do this kind of porno movements, this aggressive way of having sex, is that the woman's vagina will actually expand out when she has, let's call it, an aggressive penis inside of her. Meaning when a man is jabbing inside of a woman the way that you see in porn, that woman's vagina that's very sensitive, in order to protect itself, will actually enlarge and become bigger inside. Meaning the vagina can change sizes.
Magic.
Totally magic. Actually, this is a whole other story, because for guys out there that think they have a really small penis, it really matters very little, because vaginas will actually shapeshift in order to accommodate any size of penis that is inside of the woman. So basically, if you're engaging with, let's say, the average woman off the street these days, her vagina has so much trauma inside from the other men that she has been with through this kind of aggressive sex that it'll take some time, I say, to release the trauma in order for her vagina to come back down and really be able to hug the penis inside and start to feel energy again. So your question was kind of like who's responsible for the lack of orgasm for the woman, and it could be both.
Okay. Well, that brings us to 55 minutes, ish, of the podcast, and I think that kind of, we've taken them from kissing right to orgasm, so, everyone's happy.
That's a lot of information, and this
Everyone
is nothing.
They're all smoking right now, laying on their backs, having a cigarette right now.
Yeah, and like I said, I do workshops. I know I just want to share the information. I know that this is,
it's fine.
and I know that but it's I think it's beautiful for guys to know that there is proper information out there for them to be educated on. That's the thing. It's like you can't really blame anybody. There's just a lack of understanding due to lack of information out there about how things should be done. So.
Okay. Well, if they want to, learn more about your workshops, how the hell can they find out more?
I don't have any workshops scheduled at the moment. I actually have a tour this summer in Europe that I'm doing with introductory evenings, mostly speaking about the body work that I do, this energy work, which I don't want to go too deep into right now, but they're welcome to get information about the body work and the events on my website, which is sashacobra.com, and sign up to the mailing list so that whenever I do workshops, I'll send out an email and let people know where they're at.
Yeah, brilliant, nice. Well, look, cheers for coming in, Sasha. It was nice of you to come all the way from Argentina.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, just to be on the podcast and talk about this subject that a lot of guys are interested in and want a lot more of. So hopefully we've just created, basically this podcast, we've just made a lot of women come. Basically, that's what happened. We've created a lot of orgasms, literally,
exactly,
because of this podcast.
Saving the world one orgasm at a time.
That's it. There we go. So there you go, guys. Hope you have enjoyed the podcast. And for the next one, we are going to get the whole crew back in the show. We're going to get Yad and Minnie and Mark and everyone else because everyone's been out doing their thing and been very busy. But we're going to get everyone back and going to have a good old laugh next time. So yeah, thanks again, Sasha. Hope you've enjoyed it, guys, and see you guys next time.
Thanks, Andy.